What's up? What's up? I haven't done one of these in a while. So welcome everyone. C'est moi, Brandi. I am going live. I usually go live every single week in my Facebook group, Style for Smart Cookies, and then also on YouTube. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm also going live on Instagram, so you're going to see me kind of looking back and forth because I got my phone, I got my computer, I got all sorts of stuff. But like, hi and welcome. Hello to the universe. It feels really good to be here. I've taken a little bit of a like tiny hiatus and just like getting my life together. And I feel like we should talk about that more. Sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need to just like figure your own stuff out. And that's a lot of what I've been doing. Chat me up in the comments, y'all. Like, hello, how are you? How are you doing? What's been going on? Let me know where you are in the world. It's always helpful for me to like orient, especially as we talk about style and fit stuff. So I know like what climate you're in. So that's what's going on over here. What else? So I left my job of 2.5 years. I was working for a major fashion and tech company. And it was great. Like it was exactly what I needed at the time when I signed on. So for those of you who kind of don't know my journey, I was in public education reform for a very long time in that sector for over 10, 15, 20 years. And then I was like doing my own style business, kind of simultaneously. And so in 2014, I went full time with my style business, which was like jumping off of a cliff. I don't consider myself very like I'm actually pretty risk averse. What I've discovered about myself is that I'm good with change, but I don't like risk. So like once I get through the risk, then I'm great. But the actual like, we're going to take a risk now, like I do not love it. So that's what's happening now. Oh, hold on, you guys. I don't think am I live? Hello? Hold on, y'all. I don't think I'm live on, what's it called? On Insta. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere, Facebook. I love you dearly. But tell me what's been going on with y'all. Pop something in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you are, what you've been what you've been liking lately in terms of your style and fit. What you haven't been liking. We're doing a Q&A today, so like I'm gonna rely on y'all. Like I have some pre-submitted questions, but like start chatting in your questions now. Like I want to know, I want to get ready, I want to get prepared. I'm also going to talk through this look for anyone who's interested. But our theme today is warm girl summer, which I stole from my friend Andrea, and I think it's hysterical. Y'all, how do I not know how to go live on Instagram? Oh, well. Thank you. See, I'm not live on Instagram. Being 41 is difficult. Oh, shoot, I'm 42 now. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how the internet works. I mean, y'all, I'm just out here trying to live my best life, but it fails a lot. It's okay. All right, so I'm not live. That's okay. We will figure that out later. I'm going to come back to y'all over on Facebook. So what's been happening? Is it warming up where you are? You guys have like some warmer temperatures? Are you starting to dip a toe into the spring style waters? Like, tell me all the things. I want to know. I will give y'all a second to pop that stuff in. I'm going to try IG one more time, y'all. I mean, you just click live, right? I mean, right? It shouldn't be like a whole thing. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, a tent dress. Oh, tell me more. And if y'all are on Facebook, you have to tell me what your name is because I can't see because if you don't sign into StreamYard. I'm very excited about a tent dress. Okay, I've added a title. Checking connection. Here we go. I think it's going to happen. I bought a tent dress from Uniqlo to hide my Corona pounds. You know what? Do what you need to do. This Corona fluff, like part of it's Corona, part of it's also just me. I mean, like let's just call it what it is, you know? Like I feel like that's fine. But yeah, I mean, like there's that like fun game you get to play of like I want to feel really good, you know, like in my body, but I also want to look really good. And like I read this thing, I think it was from the folks over at Nutritional Freedom. That was like, I don't have to love my body to respect my body, right? Like I don't have to like love her all the time, like every single day. Like I don't know. I think that there's a lot of like body positivity stuff that like really makes you feel like if you don't just give yourself a warm hug every day and like embrace the pounds that you're like failing. And I really like this idea of like, listen, I don't get up every day and I'm like, girl, you look good. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, whose face is that? Okay, let's make her mine in the mirror with some contouring. But that doesn't mean that I don't respect my body. Like I love what she does for me. Even when I huff and puff up a flight of stairs, I should have bought a ranch. I bought a 2-story. Lesson learned. But like I very much respect and enjoy everything she allows me to do, right? And then there are days where I'm like, maybe I wish there was a little less of this or that, but you know what? We're gonna be all right. So that mindset work is something that like I have to do all the time. And I think that like we need to like normalize that, right? Like it's not like, oh my God, I'm just like, oh my God, I love myself all the time. She said, oh my God. Like sometimes it's like, ew, I don't enjoy that. But we're going to keep it moving. So I just think we need to like name that because I feel like there's so much stuff out there that's just like, yes, embrace yourself. And like we're working toward that, but it's an active thing. It's like a work on it until you get there. But I don't think we ever really get there because there's always going to be something else. So you just got to work on it. And I feel like that's totally fine. All right. So hi, Instagram people. Thank you for letting me know that it worked. So today we're talking about warm girl summer. What is that? You might ask. So I was saying earlier, I stole this from my friend Andrea. So y'all remember like 2 years ago, like Lizzo, the world was open, things were amazing. And, you know, it was like hot girl summer. Like we're going to have a hot girl summer. Just like wear all your cute stuff, live your best life. And now that things are like starting to open up a little bit more, I have both of my Moderna doses. I will say this, I feel like I talk about myself like an adopted dog now, right? I'm like, I have all my vaccines. I have all my shots. Who can I play with is what it is. For those of you who are, I hope you're all getting vaccinated. Like, let me just say that. I keep hearing people being like, I mean, I don't want to push it, but I'm like, no, I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. Please go get vaccinated. I hope you're doing that. Like we don't have time. We don't have time for fake science. Like just go get the shot. Moderna was a bizatch. I'm just putting it out there. It does not mean if Moderna is all that's available to you that you should not go get it. But what it does mean is that day 2 or like after that second dose, I've heard some people were okay. Like I'm just telling you, like plan for 36 hours of your life just to be like laid out like you got hit by a truck. My good friend Elizabeth, like when I was like, you know, on the bed dying, she was like, this is your body making antibodies. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. It did give me a moment of calm, moment of peace while I was having chills like I've never had in my life. And then alternating between that and hot flashes and had a pounding headache. But is it worth it? Yes, because I got to see my mom last week. Hadn't seen my mom in 15 months, 15. And this is a woman I talk to literally every day on the phone. So that was hard. So I got to see her last week, which was super, super awesome. So go be a shelter dog and go get all your shots, please. So warm girl summer. I've been out in the world a couple times since having both of my shots. And I feel like it's like a grand debutante entrance back into society, right? I'm like, hello, but I'm like whispering because I'm still real cautious, right? I'm like, hi. Like there's a little bit of that going on. But I'm here in Houston, for those of you who don't know. And so what's like fun / wow here, y'all have this like horrible allergy cough. That's not the fun part. What's fun / wow here is like, now that I'm going back out into society, into the world, like basically everyone I meet is like, oh, so and so had corona, so and so, like, Houston, y'all gotta get this together. I'm real happy they've opened it to everyone over the age of 16, which I'm really excited about because from my anecdotal research in being a person in the world, it seems like 2 out of every 5 people have had COVID here, which is something. So, warm girl summer, we're going to cautiously step back out into the world. And so, how do we want to look? How do we want to feel? What is that going to look like? Some of us have some like, corona pounds, someone called it earlier. And I feel like this is a mindset thing, right? Because I think there's always this like summer bodies, like blah blah blah, or like, summer bodies are built in the winter. And I'm like, how? It's winter. I'm supposed to be hibernating. Like literally, I'm eating a ton. So I first just want to like name that thing. You're going to have to work it out in your mind to not feel some type of way about the way that your body looks as it gets warmer. So showing more skin is because it's hot. It doesn't have to be linked to your own perception of like warmer weather means smaller you. And I say that, and like I'm walking this walk with you, right? Like it's not the first thing that comes to my head when I think summer. I'm like, I just want to like shrink myself. And we got to get out of that, right? Like it's just a temperature thing. It gets warmer, and so we put less clothes on. It doesn't automatically mean that like the size and shape of our bodies has to change dramatically. So I want to like name that as a thing that we have to get out of that thinking, right? That like just because it gets warmer means I need to have this like summer body that just magically appears. I don't know how else you get it besides magic. But I want to put that out there because I think we get really hard on ourselves this time of year. And like spring should be a time where we're like enjoying things and like there's the days are getting longer and the sun is shining. And if you're anything like me recently, because I've gained a lot of weight in the past like 4 or 5 years, this time instead of being a time of like renewal and joy is a time of like anxiety and fear of like in 2 months, am I going to have like the summer body I need, right? So I'm just putting that out there. Please give me a yes in the comments or like, testify in the way that you need to if you've had that mode of thinking before. Because I just feel like it's pretty pervasive, right? It gets warmer and we're all like, oh my gosh, I have to, like just look different. So I want to name that. The other thing is, what is this going to mean for your current wardrobe? So if you're in a place where there's more of like a transition, so in Houston, spring is my absolute favorite time of year. Like it's warm, but not humid, praise. And so, I can actually like wear different things and like, I feel really good about that. If you're in a place where like, that's like a longer transition, if you're like up north, sometimes it's like, how do I keep like I'm still kind of cold, right? So like, how do I keep wearing things and making sure like I'm still like dressed appropriately, but I need to be able to layer. So we're going to talk about layers a little bit today. I got like a hells yes in the comments for sure. A little clap, clap, clap. Thank y'all. Like, right? Like that's really a thing where that mindset of like the trepidation of summer, instead of like, yay, it's summer. It's like, what's my body going to be doing in these clothes? And y'all know I don't play that. And again, it's not that I don't feel that, it's that I have the tools to be able to train my brain a little bit differently and like just figure out from a styling perspective how to still look good, even if I don't always feel good, which we kind of talked about earlier. So layering, we're going to start there, and then it is Q&A time. So, or it will be at the end. So like make sure you're chatting in your questions. So here are some of my like best tips on layering. One, you always want to start with base layers. So base layers, I define those as the layers that are closest to your body, right? So whatever's touching your skin on top of underwear, if you wear underwear, I mean, not everyone does, I'm just putting that out there. But so the clothes that people see that are closest to your skin, that's your base layer. So you want to make sure that the layer closest to your skin, depending on if you run hot or cold, is the thing that's going to keep your temperature in check. Meaning, if you run really hot, make that base layer something like a tank top or like a cap sleeve shirt. So that way, when you want to take clothes off, whatever's closest to your skin has to work and fully function as a garment on its own. It can't be a little strappy camisole that like doesn't like, match the proportion of your shoulders, or like, like it just looks like underwear, right? Like you need to be able to get things. Even those base layers need to look good, because if you have any plans on stripping down, you still need that to look like you're a functional person in the world who knows how to dress herself. One of my all-time favorites for this is a brand called Nick and Zoe. It's NIC plus ZOE. And they have a layering tank, and it's awesome. I put almost everybody in it. And I don't say that about a lot of things, because like as a personal stylist, like generally I'm always tailoring things to that individual. But like I haven't found anyone that they don't work on. They go from like extra, extra small petite up to, I believe, 3X. So great size range. And they have this layering tank. It might be called like the perfect tank. And it's awesome because the material is thicker, like it's a thicker weight. So you really feel held in, you really feel secure in it. And then the straps are, a bit wider. So I used to be a teacher. We call it like the 2-finger rule, right? Like your straps should be there because of all the double standards we put on girls. It's a different story. But anyway, it does give you bra strap coverage if that's something that you need. And it just is a very polished tank. So that way, if you are stripping down because you run hot or, whatever's going on, you still have on an outfit, and it comes in like a bunch of colors. So like that's something I really recommend. It's like, just think about that base layer. If you're like me and you run cold, I'm fine in something like this, right? Like I'm just not going to need to take any more clothes off. Granted, that's for spring, right? Like once it gets Houston summer here, it's like, why can't we be naked? Actually, it's not true. Naked, there'd just be sweat everywhere. I enjoy the clothes. It gives me a little bit of a buffer. So that's first things first, is like think about that base layer. Now, the base layer needs to work with whatever you have on the bottom, right? Like you need to think about that, visualize that as an entire outfit. So that if you take off a cardigan, if you take off a blazer, if you take off a jacket, if you take off a flannel, like whatever it is, that still needs to look like you meant to do it. And I think that we don't think about that sometimes, right? It's like, I'm gonna put on this like layering cami, and then you get really, really hot, and then you're like, well, I can't take this off because I'm in a meeting and like it doesn't look work appropriate, or you just feel some type of way about like the layer that you have on. So just really just make sure that, like whatever that layer is, you feel really good in it and it looks like clothes and not like underwear. In general, I find that base layer will look really good if it's a little bit more on the fitted side, because if you're layering things on top of it, sometimes it's hard to layer like volume on top of volume, for example, if you've got like a big cardigan on. So having a more sleek and fitted base layer situation is typically going to help a lot with creating like an overall more cohesive look. We have, hi Kim, hi Vanessa, hi Kate, hi Bethany, my sister's here. Cute. So those are, I think just like keep that stuff in mind for like whatever those base layers are, and make sure it is a little bit more on the fitted side if you plan on layering a lot of things over. So now let's talk about overlayers. Cropped is a thing this spring. So for some of us, we hear cropped and it's like 90s flashbacks. And all of that style is back anyway. Right? So the flashbacks are real. You're not hallucinating. Like it's just clothes now. So there's that. But here's the thing, like the 90s version of cropped, like the Clueless version of cropped, and like the Christina Aguilera Genie in a Bottle version of cropped, it's not that, okay? Like it's not just like 7 inches of midriff, because here's what you have to understand. Back then, it was a crop top paired with a pair of low-rise jeans. Low-rise jeans are the devil. I just want to go on record as stating that. So that's what, like that flashback of like, oh my God, crop tops is because we were used to seeing it was just like an expanse of stomach, which like, if that's your jam, cool, right? But if that invokes like feelings of like despair and like terror in you, just know that's not what we're doing now. So now the silhouette is a crop top with very high-rise silhouettes. You guys know I stand for a high-rise anything. It's not just because it's in style. It's because if you carry, especially if you carry more of your weight in the middle, right? So you have a fuller midsection. A lot of times we think that we have like muffin tops and like all these things that we put on ourselves. When your body naturally is just like buck naked in a mirror, like no one has a muffin top. Literally no one. You might have rolls, you might have curves, you might have all sorts of gorgeous things going on. No one has a shape where like this is happening and then this is happening. That happens because your pants are digging in to a part of your body that is wider than other parts of your body. High rise, and I don't care how full or how voluptuous this situation is, if you feel like you're carrying any of your weight in your midsection, or you just noticed you get like love handles or like whatever, all these like terms, right, in clothes, and you don't have a smooth silhouette and you would like one, you need to get jeans or pants or a skirt or whatever that goes up and over that full part, right? So if you're full here and you put something on that ends, or like, you know, the waistband is right here, you're going to get this sense, right, of something kind of spilling up and over. If you just raise the level of that waistband to where the body starts to naturally come back in, everything smooths out. True story, I tried on 2 pairs of jeans this morning, and I could tell immediately, even without putting on a shirt, that one of them was going back. Because even though they were, quote, high-rise jeans, because everyone's proportions are different, right? Like I have a very short torso, but I have a very high hip set. So like my hip bones are high on my body and my torso is like the size of a kindergartner's. So even a high-rise on me is sometimes not high enough, and I got a booty, right? So if you have a butt, even though high rise is helpful, you have to remember like the rise. So this like here's a butt. Hello, here's JLo's butt. The rise on a pair of jeans, even if it says high rise, if it's coming back up, 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 and it's not high enough, that's where you get that waist gap. Because basically your butt is pushing the material out, right? So even in a high rise, if your butt is pushing material out, it's taking up that curve on a rise of jeans. So I mean like rise meaning like the back seam of a pair of jeans. If your butt is flatter, then the rise basically goes all the way up. If your butt is out, we're going like this. Does that make sense? So I need a high rise because I got front, I got back, baby got everything. So I put on this pair of jeans and I was like, nope, I could already tell because like the natural shape of my body, and like I've got, like rolls and like whatever, right? Like stuff to grab onto, which is like totally fine, but they look distorted. So there was stuff splooging out on the sides where it is not normally doing that when I don't have pants on. So I knew those were going back. So like those are some of those things. A lot of times we feel like pants just fit the way they fit, right? And it's like, oh, it's my body, I guess, because like I see other people wearing clothes and they look fine. So it must be me. It's like, no, girlfriend, it is always the clothes. It is always the clothes. It is never you. If I could like get that like bumper stickered somewhere, I would. It is always the clothes. It is never you. It's just that most of us don't have the like knowledge of where to find the clothes, right? If we had that, a lot of things would be solved, but that's what you have me for. Okay, so high rise and cropped, you're only having like this much stomach out, if any. So I had on a crop top and a pair of like higher rise joggers the other day. There was no visible skin, but I still got the like effect of like, oh my God, she's so cute in that super trendy little crop situation. So if you're thinking about base layers, don't rule out crops, especially if you have a short torso. Now, girlfriend, if you have a long torso, we both know this may not be your aesthetic, okay? Unless you truly do want skin out, which like, hey, do you? But if you have like an average to a shorter torso, like don't shy away from the crops. And then even with a longer torso, if you can find something like truly like high rise, like in joggers or leggings or that sort of thing, it's still going to look really good. So that's like one layer combination. And then let's talk about outer layers. So you've got jackets, cardigans, blazers, etc. Play with proportion. That's, I think, going to be one of like the more fun things for spring, is you can do a cropped jean jacket. What? Right? So like do your little denim jacket, but look for one that's cropped. Like even just playing around with that stuff, like it'll make things feel new, but in silhouettes that you're already comfortable with. Blazers are always around. I personally, y'all, like my tolerance for blazers has gone way down since the pandemic. I'm just like, it's just so much fabric. But if you stay in a blazer moment, like get into it. And there's also a lot more like soft silhouettes, right? Like blazers, I'm never talking about like an Ann Taylor suit jacket unless you need to be in a suit. Blazers, I think, look much better on everyone for a more casual look if they've got some flow to them. You can have a little structure for sure, but like you want like a longer length most of the time, more like what you would get in like a boyfriend cardigan, but like just in a blazer. That's gonna look good on a lot of different body shapes. So you've got that, and then cardigans always. This is another moment, right? Like if you're gonna do a long cardigan, my best tip is to use these guys. You put your arms down straight by your sides and actually just make a fist. Pretend you're grabbing on to the hem of something, right? So put your arms down, make a fist, and grab onto some imaginary fabric. That is where your cardigan should stop. It should be no longer than that point on your body. It's just like a good rule of thumb. Unless you're doing like a full duster, of course, but just like sometimes like people like will ask, like, well, how do I know where my cardigan should stop? That's a pretty good mark for everyone. I'm like, don't have it be longer than that. What you really want to look for is where your thigh starts to narrow in towards your lower thigh and then to your knee. That visually is where you want that point to hit for a cardigan. So where you start to come in is always where you want to put a visual line break. You don't ever generally want to put a visual line break, meaning like a hem, a belt, a button, anything like that, where you're at your widest on any part of your body. These are all things that I teach in my style course, which will be dropping in May. What? So for sure, get on the wait list for that. I think on Instagram, I think it's in my bio. Y'all, who's not prepared? This girl. But it's basically style.brandeisnicole.com/body shape waitlist. Should take you there. So there's that. All right, let's get into the Q&A really quickly. What questions do y'all have about Warm Girl Summer? How are you stepping out? Let me know. Like, are y'all still like, hey, like I'm on the comfort train? Are you ready to like put on real clothes again? What has that moment been looking like for you? I'm a mix of both. Like I'm still very much enjoying a jogger. You guys on Instagram have like more of like a view. I'm actually wearing jeans today. Jeans that don't pull on, jeans that button and zip, which is, I only have one pair of those that fits currently. So like these are her. And I'm doing like a straight leg silhouette with like a little bit of like a frayed hem at the bottom. I really like them. If you get into, just side note, if you get into a straight leg jean, which is like all the rage now, right? They're back, whatever. One note, I think it's really helpful from a silhouette perspective for most of us if they stay straighter, like more close to the body. So like I don't have like a super wide leg on. Maybe I'll stand on a chair. Maybe we'll do that in a second. You guys can see. But my most important tip is your shoe game, because they're cropped and they're straight. That is a recipe for straight up disaster on most body types. Because you're basically making like a rectangle on the bottom of your body, and most body types want to taper in, right? So you're altering the shape of your body, which is fine. We do that all the time with clothing. But unless you're naturally more of a straight up and down body type, which is a lot of people, but if you've got a lot of curve, either bigger on top, bigger on the bottom, even sometimes more in the middle, that straight silhouette with a cropped edge is like, what just happened? Because it truncates your leg line and it makes your legs look shorter, and then like everything just kind of falls apart. So you have to add a bit of a heel. So even if that's like a platform sneaker, a wedge, like flats are the absolute devil with this look. So there's that. Maybe I'll post a picture later. All right, so we have a couple of pre-submitted questions. The first one is about a fear of prints, which I think is a good topic. So this person has a fear of prints and worries like they don't go with her body shape. So here's the thing about prints. There's lots and lots and lots of them, right? So I think sometimes we just haven't found like the right print. I'm clearly a print person. I know that there are people who just like love a solid and like that's fine, but I think prints are fun. So I'd say the first thing is figure out if you enjoy more of like an abstract situation or a more like linear, pattern basically. So visually, some of us really like stripes, polka dots, houndstooth. So things that like repeat, the pattern repeats and it feels very stable. Others of us like a more abstract look, right? So like this is a print. That cardigan, sorry, Instagram, y'all can't see. Ooh. That cardigan is also a print. So there is, something, I'm sorry, it's a pattern. So there is something going on, but it's not, it's much more abstract. It has a lot more movement in it. And I think for a lot of people, they're used to seeing the movement stuff and they're like, oh my God, I hate prints, right? Like, can't do it, don't like it, please go away. And so I think just one, like getting some clarity on like, are there certain kinds of prints or patterns that you like better? Go on to Pinterest, make a board, like figure out what you like. And I think sometimes that actually just really helps with being like, oh, I do like certain things. It's okay not to like everything. I've had this cough for 3.5 weeks. Also, I got it on my last day of work at my full-time job, which I think was a sign. My whole body was like, and now we can relax and be sick. I was like, thank you. So beyond that with prints, let's talk about scale. Small, medium, and large. This is a medium print. It's not super big. The cardigan, I'd say that's medium to large. It's definitely like a little bit more like dramatic in scale. I guess this is actually medium large too. So I tend to prefer that for my body shape. Really, really tiny, dainty prints get very lost on my silhouette. Like I've got like, a pretty like angular face. Well, not right now because I gained 65 pounds, but you know what I mean. Cheekbones are still there. But like just in general, there's like a little bit more like drama in my face. And so body wise, I have like a bigger like frame, I would say. So not in the sense of like my size, but for example, no matter what weight or size I've been, people always think I'm taller than I am. I'm 5'5". People are like, are you 5'8"? I'm like, I'm sure not. So I just present larger, right? And again, like that is not like a judgment phrase. Like there's nothing wrong with being larger. So it's just something like, again, like no matter what size I've been, I've always just presented as like a bigger person, more presence, whatever you want to call that. So really tiny, tiny prints get very lost on my frame very quickly. And so like if I was always trying to wear dainty polka dots, I would probably also think I didn't like prints. So you have to think about scale as well. And it's not about size, right? So like you could be a size 18 and be petite in height, right? And have features that are like super like engaging, like really open eyes, like a super, super happy smile, right? There's kind of like a cutesy element. Polka dots are going to look amazing. Small scale polka dots are going to look amazing, right? So I don't want you to equate the scale of the print necessarily with the size of the body. It's more about like how your body overall presents. So I hope that's helpful. Any other questions? What else do y'all have? It's so good to see everyone. I've missed you. All right, so very quickly, I'm just going to get into like what this is. So Sephora sale's happening, I think next week or the week after. I'll be picking up some stuff because I pick up stuff. But things that I'm still loving for like over a year, which is rare for me. My Pat McGrath concealer, like it is just the best. It is just the best. And so if you don't have it, I highly recommend. They have a great shade finder on Pat McGrath's site where you can see tons of different shades of people. I think it's like actually really, really helpful. I know we're not like trying stuff on in stores. I'd say, get a shade and maybe get like one up, one down, just return, what doesn't work for you. But the finish on this is exceptional. Sometimes I literally just do a few dots here. You guys know I always take my concealer up on a diagonal, so it makes my eyes look more awake. And then I have redness usually here and here and like a little bit here, blend with a beauty blender, and that's it. So I love it. I love it. If you have a favorite concealer, let me know. I am also rocking today. Where did it go? Oh, foundation today is Chantecaille. I've had this forever. I mean, you're not supposed to have makeup forever, but I do. So I've had it forever. This is their Future Skin. Yeah, Future Skin oil-free gel foundation. I love it. I'm in the shade Banana. This used to be the darkest shade. So they've just like redone a whole bunch of stuff because apparently when Black Lives Matter, so does black makeup. It's an interesting phenomenon, but I will take it. And so there are deeper shades now, which I think is great, but I really love this. It's splurgy. Like I wouldn't say like, if you just like need a foundation, like, oh my God, you have to go get this one. I rotate it, I have like a whole foundation wardrobe, but that's what I have on today. I like the finish a lot. The other thing I've been loving is Danessa Myricks Black Owned Beauty, her Evolution powders. It's just a setting powder. I find that I just get like a really good blur. So even if I'm not doing any makeup, I'll just like finish my skincare routine, put on sunscreen, and then put this business on. It's super, super finely milled. You like can't, oh, I definitely just spilled some out, y'all. Who's not a beauty blogger? This girl. But that's my shade. I'm shade 3. And I have a lighter one for under my eyes. You guys, there's makeup all over my jeans. Who let me in here? I've also been enjoying my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is shade 3, I think. So that's been super fun. So I layer that on top of, this is also Charlotte Tilbury, the contour wand. I don't do it all the time, but I'll show you guys like just quickly. It just comes in like a little squeezy thing. So I do it up here just to give myself some shade because I'm naturally darker there. And then I'll come in and just do a little bit in here. I'm not trying to make like the penis nose, right? But like I just find like it just gives my nose a little bit more definition, like just down like the front to kind of like just separate my face a little bit, especially if I'm feeling like my face looks puffy in the morning. I actually really like contouring, just like make my face look like my face used to look before I had a mountain of salt the last night. And then I'll do, in here, right? And then like along my jawline. So been loving that. I don't do it every day for sure. And then the bronzer on top of that, plus just like in general. The last thing I'll talk about is this Pat McGrath, the Dark Star mascara. I have her other one, the one that comes in the black container. I can't remember the name. I had that for a while and then she released this. This is amazing. I have really like what I call like anemic lashes. Like they're there, but you can't see them at all without mascara. And this one like really, really, like if I do 3 coats of this, it looks like I have false lashes on. This palette is what I'm wearing. I got it as a gift from my friend Armani. It's at Forest Site. It's a Raw Beauty Christie Times or by ColourPop one. And it's got really, really fun shades. What I love about this is like they look very like autumnal, but like I will still wear whatever year round, right? So like don't feel like you have to be hemmed in by like, oh, it looks like fall. And that's pretty much it. I've got like a Fenty Beauty, what is this? Goji Gang. I want to say gochujang. I'm part Korean, not really. So that's what I have on here. And then a Flesh Beauty. I really, really love this brand. That's my blush. That's it. Y'all, this has been amazing. Style for Smart Cookies. Get in that Facebook group if you're not there already. We have a ton of fun in there. And I'll post links everywhere for getting on the wait list for my course in May because there's so much of this like I love doing and I just love like helping. And I just want you guys to like just feel really good about like, it's not always again about feeling good in your body all the time. It's about feeling really good and like having the confidence you need to know that you can dress yourself for any occasion and look fly. that is what I want for you. So thank you guys so much for being here. Sending you all my love and all my thoughts of just like still being safe out there, whether or not you've gotten your adopted dog vaccines or not. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.